Thank you, Madam Chair. To start, I would like to actually draw off of what the member opposite was just saying. The member for Old Didsbury, Three Hills, the MLA who previously represented that constituency, actually spoke in favor of including corrections officers with presumptive PTSD coverage about 4 years ago. And for some of those reasons is why I want to speak about it today, because I have a lot of corrections officers that work in Fort Saskatchewan, and they are a group of people that get overlooked quite often. They work day in, day out, and I've gotten to know a couple of them, and am proud to call them my friends, and I'm proud to actually look up to them. So I would just like to share something from a letter that one of them shared with me. To start, I would like to thank you for taking the time to discuss this issue with myself and others that have been affected by this. I thank you for taking it forward and attempting to fix a situation that needed to be fixed with the old government. I was a correctional peace officer for 13 years before I had to retire. I was 33 years old at this time. I enjoyed my employment at the Fort Saskatchewan Correctional Centre for the first couple of years until my life changed. In 2007, I attempted suicide by attempting to slit my throat. I was lucky and did not fully cut deep enough, and I woke up on my kitchen floor. At this time, I made a decision to seek help. I was wrongfully diagnosed at that time with bipolar and was treated as such. For 3 or 4 years, I accepted this diagnosis and used the medication as prescribed. They had little or no effect on me, and I still to this date suffer from side effects from them. I have since been reassessed and have been diagnosed with PTSD due to the years I have worked as a correctional peace officer. So there's a few things in here that I would like to highlight from what he shared with me. One of them is that often people go misdiagnosed. I think that it's a laudable thing in this bill being put forward by the member for Edmonton Castle Downs, to raise awareness of what the symptoms are, because often I know that what we talk about is that we are our own best advocates for our health. So to know what those indicators are, so that we can identify them, or our family can identify them, or our friends can identify them, can help prevent people from getting lost in a health system where ultimately they end up falling through the cracks. Something that I take from this also is humility. He goes on to talk about how what he did in the normal course of a day was no different than another correctional peace officer that he worked with. And these are not things that we normally see as human beings. They are murder, suicide, brutal self-harm, hostage takings, people being shot at, people seeing physical and sexual abuse of one another, riots. These correctional peace officers, they put themselves in harm's way to enforce the laws that we put in place, ultimately, that put people behind bars. So when I think of us as society, and I think about being a legislator, I know that I am responsible for the laws that I help create and that I vote on, and that if it means that I'm asking someone to help enforce those on the other end, then I need to ensure that I am giving them the proper tools, the proper resources necessary to address those mental health issues that they unfortunately end up incurring. There's Deanna Lennox, who was a former RCMP officer. She is someone who has been tireless in advocating for frontline workers to be able to have good access that they know where to find it. She helped start a group called Help Through the Front Door. And you know, often what we struggle with in society is the stigma. It doesn't matter how many resources you put in front of a person until you start to, as a community as a whole, to address those issues that create the stigma that prevents people from going through that front door and asking for help. that's what we really need to address. And the members from the official opposition spoke, very eloquently, very passionately, along with the premier, the current premier of Alberta, and the Minister of Education. They both spoke about how correctional peace officers, that they are in a closed environment with people that can seek to do them harm all of the time, and it really strains on a person's mental well-being. And we need to make sure that we are finding ways, and this is a fantastic first step. I know that there are members in the House that would like to perhaps do a redo on Bill 1, which extended presumptive coverage for PTSD for people, including correctional peace officers, for social workers to be included along with our RCMP, sorry, not our RCMP officers, our firefighters, our police officers, our sheriffs, and our EMS workers, I believe. Paramedics, thank you. We have people that are in constant harm's way that we need to make sure that we're taking care of. And it's because there are people that they put themselves in harm's way all of the time, and then they don't feel supported at the end of the day when they go to access help. One of the phrases that I hear over and over again when I talk to corrections officers is that they feel like they are thrown away like garbage. And they do it because they feel that they are called to do it. And we need to make sure that these people are still able to provide for their families, that they don't have to retire early from careers that they have chosen because they have a passion for doing that job. And that is why I'm happy to and proud to stand in support of this bill. I think it's an important first step, but I do hope, along with the member for Olds Didsbury Three Hills, that we work forward on putting more supports in place that make sure that these individuals can have easier access to the supports that they need so that they can ultimately get the help that they are seeking from jobs that we ask them to go to. So it's my pleasure to stand in support of this bill, and I encourage all members to do the same. Thank you.